sports presentation.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, KCAL 9 presents the Dodgers as they take on the Atlanta Braves. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Wednesday evening to you. Welcome to the final game of the three-game series with the Braves, the so-called rubber game. Dodgers have only lost one series so far this year. That was on the road in Milwaukee, and they're trying to win another one against Atlanta. Last year, they beat Atlanta 5 of 7. Talking about winning series, the Dodgers, going back to last year, have won 14 of the last 16 series they played. And tonight, we should be in for quite a pitching duel. At least the numbers tell us that. For instance, Ted Lilly, 2-0. His earned run average is 0.69, less than 1. Brandon Beachy, a right-hander for Atlanta, his ERA is 0.47. So pull up a chair, we might have a dandy, and we'll get to the ball game right after this. To you by Jack in the Box, where the entire menu is available all day long. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Wednesday evening to you, wherever you may be. We're at Dodger Stadium for the final game of the three-game series with Freddie Gonzalez and the Atlanta Braves, a club trailing Washington by 2.5 games, which reminds us Washington Nationals will be here starting Friday night. For Freddie, his lineup reads this way. Michael Bourne in center field. Martin Prado, whose triple won the game last night, will be in left field. Freddie Freeman, the big first baseman. Brian McCann, the left-hand hitting catcher behind the plate. Dan Uggla at second base. Chipper Jones, who will be batting right-handed tonight after hitting a home run left-handed on his birthday last night. Jason Hayward in right field. Tyler Pasternicki, the shortstop. Brandon Beachy, the pitcher. On the mound for the Dodgers, Ted Lilly, 2 wins, no losses, a brilliant earned run average of 0.69. He beat the Braves last year. He's 5-2 lifetime, and his first pitch, a breaking ball to Michael Bourne, in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Ted Lilly, 36 years old, out of Lomita, lives up in San Luis Obispo, and the left-hander strike one pitch on the way. High inside fastball swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. Michael Bourne, who has been certainly the spearhead of the Atlanta attack, hitting .329. He has 4 runs batted in. His job is to get aboard. Basically a ground ball hitter, and the strike 2 pitch on the way. Michael hits a chopper right back to Lilly. Ted has it and throws him out. So 1 away here in the first inning. Take a look at the Dodgers with the leather. In the outfield, Tony Gwynn, Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier. The infield of Hairston and Gordon, Ellis and Loney, and the battery of A.J. Ellis handling Ted Lilly. And the batter now is Martin Prado. Pretty much of a contact hitter, and it was Prado last night who hit the ball over Matt Kemp's head. It was a magnificent at-bat for Prado, and you certainly had to give him a lot of credit. He fouled out several pitches with 2 strikes. It was a 7-pitch at-bat, and then he cleared one over Matt's head to win the game. He takes a strike, and the count 0-1 to Martin Prado from Maracay in Venezuela. Right-hand batter waiting. Lilly into the windup. Ted comes right back and works it in there for a strike, and the count 0-2. Alan Porter is the plate umpire. Ron Copa, Jim Wolf, and Darrell Cousins, the veteran, on the line at third. So 0-2 the count to Martin Prado. Lilly from the third base side of the rubber, and the left-hander ready, and here he comes 0-2, and it's swung on, hit in the air down the left field line, hooking foul and well out of play. Pretty much of a mixed up sky. I'm not sure what it's like where you are, but here you have dark clouds over right field. You have pitch black clouds directly overhead. You have quite a bit of blue as well at sunset time. The strike 2 pitch on the way is a little low, ball 1. 1-2 the count. For Ted Lilly, it has been a remarkable start as he works on Prado. He's gone 8 starts without allowing a home run. That covers almost 56 innings. Previous, he had gone 33 with allowing one. So Ted, who is basically a fly ball pitcher, comes back 1-2, and there's a line drive base hit into left field for Martin Prado. So Prado, who had that game-winning triple last night, has a 1-out single to left, and that will bring up the local boy from Orange, Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman was the player of the week, and what a week. He had .478, hitting safely in 6 of 7 games. Went to El Modena High School in Orange, and Freddie is a big boy. He's 6'5", checks in at 220. Freeman, a free swinger and hitting .275. Lilly goes to first. Prado back on the bag. Freddie Freeman has the #1, the highest percentage of swinging at the first pitch. So if you're working on him, if he's going to be anywhere around the plate, you'd expect him to swing. Lilly out of his stretch. He'll look over at Prado. The left-hander set. The veteran comes to the plate, and it's promptly swung on and popped up. Going out in front of the plate is Ellis, but coming down from third is Hairston to make the catch. So Freeman follows the way he normally plays. First ball swinging, pops it up. 2 down, and Brian McCann coming up. Brian McCann, the all-star catcher and a dandy. You look at Brian McCann hitting .263, and you realize he's the only major league catcher since 1947 to have 4 or more RBIs and a stolen base in the same game, and he did that 3 times. He is only 28, a second-round pick by the Braves out of Duluth High School. He grew up and still lives in the home of the University of Georgia. That's Athens, Georgia. And as usual, the Dodgers load up the right side, that triangle defense, and McCann takes low. Mark Ellis goes out into shallow right field. Gordon comes over to play second base. Loney is on the bag holding Prado. So all alone between second and third is Jerry Hairston. 1 ball and no strikes to Brian McCann. The outfield plays him just about straight away, and Lilly throws over to first. Prado held on, has just 1 stolen base. Mark Ellis pretty deep out there in shallow right field. Lilly out of a stretch. Where you're starting. 2 out, first inning, no score. Lilly ready. Here he comes on the fists. Fouled away off to the left, out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brian McCann. McCann 6'3" and 220. Didn't take him too long. He was signed in 2001, began his career in 2002, and he was in the big leagues to stay in 2005. Prado takes his lead with 2 out, draws yet another throw, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. If you have been following Ted Lilly at all, you know that he is victimized by 2 things: home runs and stolen bases. In his career, the league has been successful a good 83% of the time. There goes Prado. The pitch is high. The throw is in time to get Prado. Good quick release by A.J. Ellis, although Prado thinks that he was safe. So for the Braves, no runs, 1 hit, nobody left. And at the end of half an inning, Atlanta nothing, and the Dodgers coming up. Coming up, and here's Don Mattingly's lineup, and it's a start with D. Gordon at shortstop, Mark Ellis at second base, Matt Kemp hits third in center field. Andre Ethier hits cleanup in right, James Loney at first base, Jerry Hairston playing third tonight, Tony Gwynn is in left field, A.J. Ellis behind the plate, Ted Lilly on the mound. On the mound for the Atlanta Braves, Brandon Beachy out of Kokomo, Indiana. Went to Indiana Wesleyan And when you see him pitch, the first question is, what took so long? You realize 1,500 players were signed before the Braves finally signed Brandon Beachy out of Indiana Wesleyan. 1,500 went by, and yet they're talking about the fact that he might become another John Smoltz. What happened was, when he was at Indiana Wesleyan, he played a lot of third base. So that's why he was overlooked. D. Gordon takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Gordon hitting .239, 3 runs batted in. They have to pull up the corners, always defending against the bunt. Beach's next pitch is high, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Gordon trying to start a fire. Mark Ellis on deck, and then Matt Kemp. Beachy, both feet on the rubber, turns ready, and the right-hander's pitch is swung on. Little pop fly down the left field line, and it's going to be caught by Prado, who was playing very shallow anyway. So 1 away in the first inning, and Mark Ellis will be coming up. Here are the Braves defensively. Prado, Bourne, and Hayward in the outfield. Jones, Pasternicki, Ugla, and Freeman on the infield, with Brian McCann handling Brandon Beachy. So Mark Ellis checking in, hitting .262 with 2 runs batted in. One of the rather impressive things about the young Brandon Beachy, he is 25, he'll be 26 in September. Fastball jumps in for a strike. He hits 94. Doesn't really matter right-handed or left-handed. Right-handers are hitting .234. Left-handers are hitting .234. The next pitch is in there. So quickly out in front of Ellis, 0-2. In April, in his young career, his batting average for the opposition is .190. Brandon Beachy, 6'3", 215, over the top, and there's a line drive base hit on a no-ball, 2-strike count. So Mark Ellis ropes one to center, and that'll bring up Matt Kemp. So Matt Kemp taking his time before coming up. Ellis at first, 1 out, first inning. Matt, of course, leading the ball club alongside of Andre Ethier. They've been the big horses to get the job done. Matt hitting .455, and Andre hitting back of him out on deck. 9 home runs, 22 runs batted in for Kemp. Remember earlier he had a 10-game hitting streak. So Matt waiting. Out of his stretch goes Beachy. A check of Mark Ellis. Kemp a big swing and a miss. And the count 0-1. Kemp faced Beachy 3 times last year. Walked twice and struck out twice. So Brandon looks down the barrel to get a sign. Right-hander set, looks at Ellis. And the strike 1 pitch coming up to Matt Kemp, and that's sliced foul off to the right upstairs in the count 0-2. Matt, 9 home runs, 22 runs batted in. One of the impressive things about Beachy, although it certainly doesn't hold up with Kemp, but he has the #1 rate of swing and miss strikes in the National League. Last start, he retired 11 in a row. 14 of the last 15 hitters he faced. Kemp holds up on a pitch high, and the count 1-2. No score, bottom of the first inning. Braves had Martin Prado single, but he was thrown out trying to steal. Now the Dodgers have a 1-out single by Mark Ellis, and here's Matt Kemp with Andre Ethier on deck. Freeman holding the corner on Ellis. Beachy set at the belt. Young Brandon ready. Kemp waits. And the tall right-hander throws to first. Ellis read it well and was back on the bag. For Brandon Beachy, playing third base, then he went to Virginia in the Virginia Valley League. That's where he started to pitch. And as he said, boy, that was cool. I go to Virginia to pitch summer ball, and I wind up a member of the Braves. 1-2 pitch on the way is lifted foul down the right field line and out of play. Beachy brings to the dance fastball, curveball, and changeup. He has been clocked as high as 94. Last year, Beachy brought back his slider that he used to throw when he was in college. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Matt Kemp. Beachy looks in, reading McCann. Now Brandon said a check of Mark Ellis. Right-handed comes back to Kemp, and it's foul to the screen. 1-2. So Matt Kemp hanging tough, making Beachy make a lot of pitches. He's made 11 pitches so far in the inning. Brian McCann looking over to Freddie Gonzalez. Mark Ellis has been a quiet runner over there, letting Matt Kemp decide the issue with the bat. Beachy out of a stretch. Ellis takes his lead. Now the pitch to Kemp, and it's inside under the elbows. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beachy last year was on the DL for a good month. He had a strained oblique on the right side, but he's big and strong and healthy now. The 2-2 pitch coming up. Brandon ready, over the top, and the fastball on the inside corner at the knees. Strike 3 called. Matt Kemp turned, said something. Porter nodded no, and Matt quietly walks away. Good fastball catches him, and we have 2 down, and Andre Ethier will be coming up. As far as Beachy and Ethier are concerned, Andre in the past 1 for 5. So we have 2 out. First inning, no score. Mixed up sky overhead. You know, they've been talking about some showers and or some rain. So far so good. Beachy out of his stretch. Ellis takes his lead. Ethier takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Mark Ellis, a very quiet lead at first base. Mark is 1 for 1 in stolen bases, but when you're running in front of Kemp and Ethier, you figure to be pretty quiet. Andre swings, fouls it right into the mid of McCann. 0-2 the count. Boy, Ethier certainly didn't get cheated on that swing. He's hitting .290, 4 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Beachy, right foot on the rubber, looks down to McCann, now set at the belt. And the strike 2 pitch on the way, and Ethier takes high. Dodgers have won 4 of the 5 series so far played. The one they lost 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee. The Don Mattingly's club has been very hot going back to last year. They've won 14 of 16 series, trying to make it 15 out of 17 tonight behind Ted Lilly. 1-2 the count to Andre Ethier. Ethier with James Loney hitting back of him. Now Beachy hides the ball back of the right hip, now quickly set at the belt. And the 1-2 pitch coming up is low and inside at the shoe tops of Ethier, and a 2 ball 2 strike count. James Loney trying to time Beachy from the on deck circle, waiting for Ethier. 2 balls 2 strikes, 2 out. First inning, no score. Beachy set, checks Ellis, comes back to Ethier way outside. Ball 3. 3-2 the count. One of the notes on Brandon Beachy so far, he normally pitches well through 6 innings and then struggles after that. His earned run average in the first 6 innings is 3, but from then on it's over 11. 3-2, and the pitch is strike 3 called, and Ethier frozen at the plate. Down he goes. Off speed pitch, so Kemp and Ethier strike out. Dodgers leave Ellis, and at the end of an inning, no score. Second inning, no score in the ball game. Dodgers and Braves. Brian McCann, who was left at the plate in the first inning when Prado was thrown out, swings at the first pitch, lifts it high in the air to Tony Gwynn. Tony looking up into that tricky black sky and makes the catch.
Batting next, second baseman Dan Uggla.
Parts of the sky look like a used Brillo pad, and then there are lighter areas, but what you do see when you look upstairs, nothing but trouble. So one away, second inning, no score, and Dan Uggla, the Owl, coming up. In case you're unfamiliar, since we're not going to see them for a long time, Uggla, a Swedish word that means owl. Dan with 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, hitting .246, and takes high, ball 1. 1-0. Uggla always a threat to hit one out. Last year he had 36 home runs for the Braves. The 1-0 pitch on the way, high and inside, ball 2. Uggla not only had 36 home runs, he had a 33-game hitting streak, and just for the last since 2007, he's really been a solid home run hitter. Lilly delivers, and it's a high strike up around the letters. He's had 31 home runs, 32, 31, 33, and 36. And of course, for Ted Lilly, he's always dodging the bullet as far as the home run. Ted so far this year has not allowed one. Into his windup, and the 2-1 pitch to Uggla swung on late and missed. And again, the pitch is up, and the count 2-2. Dan Uggla. The Braves really could use a home run hitter, and they got him when he came over. The last Brave to hit 30 home runs, Andrew Jones and Adam LaRoche. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way, and Uggla swings, a little foul, out of play. The Dodgers off tomorrow, and then the Washington Nationals coming in, and I'm not going to use the word surprising, because I remember sitting in Dodger Stadium talking to Davey Johnson, and he said next year. Wait until you see this club next year. Well, Washington just won again, 7-2 over San Diego. Their record is 14-4, and for the moment they are 3 games in front of the Braves. Lilly, meanwhile, pitching very carefully to Uggla, and he's gone 3-2, and waiting on deck, Chipper Jones. 3-2 pitch on the way, and that's very high. That's where he was pitching Uggla, and Dan would not chase it. So a 1-out walk will bring up Chipper Jones, who celebrated his 40th birthday yesterday by hitting a home run. Chipper has 3 home runs, and he was talking before the ball game about what a thrill each of the 3 home runs would be. He hit a home run in Houston at the start of the season, and his mom and dad were in the stands. Then he hit a home run opening day in Atlanta, which set the town on its ear. The pitch to him is on the outside corner for a strike, and then last time up on his birthday, he hit a home run here at Dodger Stadium, the 5th home run he's hit on his birthday. The Braves celebrating his birthday over the years, they're 11-2. So Uggla at first with 1 out. Lilly's slow rainbow curve stays up. 1 ball and 1 strike. When you talk to Chipper Jones about his young age, long before he was a ball player, his dad was from Vero Beach, where the Dodgers trained. So he was a rabid Dodger fan as a little guy. 1-1 to count. Chipper waiting. The 1-1 pitch coming up. Lilly delivers, curveball, drops it in for a strike, 1-2. Of all the people tonight concerned about the weather, Chipper Jones is worried the most. If the plans go right, he'll fly home tonight. Tomorrow's an off day, and his wife has a huge 40th birthday party planned for him. But if this game is rained out and we're held over, goodbye party. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Chipper. Lilly ready, and it's a little low. Check swing by Jones, and the count 2-2. So Ted Lilly working on Chipper Jones. Couple of veterans at their task. Lilly 36, Chipper 40. Ted hands it his sides. Ugla off the bag at first. Jones hitting .281. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way, and Chipper swings, lifts a fly ball, very playable. Matt Kemp is at the other end of it. That will be the second out, and Ugla will go back to first. So Chipper a fly ball, and the batter now, Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward has really been shut down by the Dodgers, and of course he's a fine young ball player, but they've tied him up into knots. In fact, he was talking to Chipper Jones about it, and Chipper said, just forget about it. Just go play the game. Don't worry about one team or the other. But they know that just about every player can tell you about one ballpark where he really sees the ball exceptionally well, and another ballpark where he doesn't. And at least up to now in his young career, Hayward has not seen the ball well here at Dodger Stadium. Big fella, he's 6'4", but he's not that big at home plate. He bends at the knees and waist, and Lilly's fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Ted keeping most of his pitches up early in the game. Hayward 6'4", 235. One of those rare players. His very first major league at bat, opening day in Atlanta, he hit a 3-run home run. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Lilly ready and deals, and there's a high fly ball slicing foul down the left field line and back into the stands. In 2010, when Jason Hayward broke in, he had 18 home runs, 72 runs batted in. But then last year, only 14 home runs and only 42 runs batted in. The reason, he had a bad shoulder and missed 34 games. Another thing, because of the sore shoulder, they tell me he hit a lot of ground balls, and that's not what they want from him. He's a home run hitter and will be for years and years to come. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Hayward swings, grounds it foul outside of first and down the line, and the count 1-2. Dodger pitchers holding him here at Dodger Stadium. He's 2 for 31, and overall 3 for 49. But he will have his chance to make some noise down through the games. Throw to first, and Ugla back on the bag. Ugla does not do any running. No attempts, no stolen bases. Meanwhile, Hayward waits. 1-2 the count. A Georgia boy from McDonough, Georgia, swings and misses, and down he goes again as far as the Dodgers are concerned. No runs, no hits, a walk and a man left at the end of an inning and a half. No score. Dodger Caps keeping score of the game. Bottom of the second inning, no score in the ball game. Two youngsters about 10 years old. It'll be James Loney, then Jerry Hairston and Tony Gwynn. Bottom of the second, no score. Brandon Beachy up against Ted Lilly. James Loney hitting .240, a home run, 4 runs batted in. Hits a fly ball, shallow left center. Michael Bourne is there, and just like that, one away. It is interesting, and it's human nature, I guess, especially in baseball. You get a fine young player and you immediately put a label on him. Let's just say Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw pitches, and the next thing you know, people are saying, hey, another Sandy Koufax. Well, that's quite a burden, but that's right now what he's carrying, another Koufax. Well, the Braves have 2 young pitchers. We saw one, Mike Minor, a left-hander last night, and the right-hander Brandon Beachy today. And you know what they're saying in Atlanta? Aha, we have the new combination, Glavine and Smoltz. Well, here's Hairston, and Jerry takes a strike, and the count 0-1. So we wish them luck. I'd love to see Mike Minor become another Tommy Glavine, and I'd love to see Brandon Beachy become another John Smoltz. Hairston played left field last night and went 2 for 4. He takes off the plate, and the count 1-1 strike. Jerry has been so valuable, not just hitting .323. He made some dazzling game-saving plays at third base on the most recent road trip. Little pop fly to Ugla, and just like that, we have 2 down here in the second inning, and Tony Gwynn coming up. A reminder, Saturday at 6:10, the Dodgers and Nationals come celebrate Don Drysdale and Maury Wills bobblehead night, presented by Bank of America. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. 2 remarkable players. Big D, what a leader he was just by going out there. You know what shingles are, kind of a nerve disease, and extremely painful. Drysdale, he went out and pitched with shingles. And Wills, the mouse that roared, 102 stolen bases. Well, anyway, they'll be celebrated Saturday night. Hope you'll be out here with us. Tony Gwynn with a strike, and the count 0-1 strike to Tony, playing left field. And the young left-hand hitter takes down and away. 1-1 strike to Tony Gwynn. Dodgers are certainly worrying about Juan Rivera. The 1-1 pitch, little nubber out in front of the plate is McCann to pick it up and throw him out. Dodgers had Rivera go down, but we're not sure about a hamstring, the severity of it or not. But certainly Juan will not be able to play for a couple of days at least. No score at the end of 2. And it'll be Tyler Pasternicki, the young shortstop, who had a big night last night. Pasternicki walked and then went 3 for 3 and scored the winning run. He takes high, ball 1. So for Pasternicki and his confidence, that big night got his average up to 227. He's only 22, 6'1", 170 out of Bradenton, Florida. Right-hand batter. And the 1-0 pitch to Tyler is taken in for a strike, 1-1. Of course, Freddie Gonzalez maneuvering a lot of players in the early going. In fact, he's used 15 different lineups in the 18 games, and they're 11-7. The 1-1 pitch, Pasternicki, it's a fly ball deep to left, but moving to his right is Gwynn, and makes the catch for the out. 1 away in the 3rd inning. That bottom of the 2nd inning was a pretty impressive inning for the young Brandon Beachy. He made 7 pitches. All 7 pitches were strikes, and he retired the side in order. So Lilly trying to keep pace. And in a sense, we're seeing what the numbers told us we would see as Brandon Beachy checks in. He's batting 200. First pitch in at the knees for a strike. Lilly came in with an earned run average of 0.69, and Beachy came in with a 0.47. Now the strike 1 pitch on the way, swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. Lilly trying to win his 3rd in a row, looking to win his first 3 starts of the season for the first time in his career. Ted working on Beachy, and the left-hander ready. Comes to the plate, 0-2. Big curveball, got him looking. That rainbow curve with a pot of gold at the end of it. 12-6, as the scouts call it. It starts at midnight and drops straight down. That would be the 2nd strikeout for Ted Lilly. And the batter, 2nd time around now, Michael Bourne. Hit back to the box in the 1st inning. Bourne is hit safely in 11 of 12. Dodgers shorten up the corners just in case, and the left-hand hitter takes a high strike. So far, Lilly had, outside of that big slow curveball, has kept a lot of his pitches up, and there have been 3 fly balls. Strike 1 pitch on the way. Ted's curveball, what a spinner that thing is. It drops in again. They used to say off the table. Now they just say look at your watch, from 12-6. 0-2 the count. 2 out, and the strike 2 pitch to Michael Bourne. Fastball popped in the air, foul down the left field line. Over to try and get it is Hairston, but he can't. Ted Lilly, very quiet, soft-spoken, lives in San Luis Obispo. His wife is a veterinarian, and Ted had a couple of dogs. One of them was attacked by a pit bull, and Lilly very quietly went over and pried the pit bull's jaws open to prevent it from killing his dog, and got away cheaply enough, just with a bit thumb. Strike 2 pitch on the way. Ted delivers, and a fly ball to left field. Gwynn is right there, makes the put out. So for Gwynn, he's made 3 putouts in 3 innings. Lilly walks off, and at the end of 2.5 innings, no score on a 10-pitch inning. ball game. What's the old line about everybody talks about the weather, nobody does anything about it? Well, baseball has a few domed stadiums, but the weather is on everyone's mind right now because that's all we've heard about all day long. If you are wondering, and maybe we don't have to add to it, the Dodgers have been rained out 17 times. First pitch in for a strike, 0-1. They have not had a rain out since April of 2000. The Dodgers have played 977 games without having been rained out. Strike one pitch fouled away by AJ, and the count 0-2. Of the 17 rainouts, 6 of them involved the San Diego Padres. 3 of them involved Atlanta. And there was a 3-game series against San Diego, and the whole 3 games were rained out. Meanwhile, AJ tries to hold up and strikes out, 1 down. That was back in 1988.
29, Ted Lilly.
April 19, 20, and 21. An entire series down the drain. But we have really been blessed to go 977. And hopefully he'll make it 978. We have 1 away, bottom of the 3rd, and Ted Lilly coming up. Beachy into the windup, over the top, fastball up and in at 93. Lilly had to get out of there. 1 ball and no strikes. Each side with 1 hit. Martin Prado singled to left in the first inning, but was thrown out trying to steal. Pitch to Lilly outside. Mark Ellis singled with 1 out in the first inning, only to have both Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier strike out. So Brandon Beachy. It took a while, but here he is after 1,500 players were signed ahead of him. Comes in with a strike, and the count 2-1. So far, left-handers are hitting 176 against him, and right-handers 147. However, Lilly bounces one over the head of Chipper Jones down the line, and Ted has himself a base hit. So a big high bouncer over Chipper's head. Not much he could do about it. He went up the ladder, but it was still over his head and down the line. So for Ted Lilly, a base hit. Now the batter will be D. Gordon. When Chipper Jones goes up in the air after that high bouncer, Chipper's a big fella. He's 6'4", but he still couldn't get it. So here is Gordon, flied to left in the first inning. Out of his stretch as Beachy comes to the plate, and it's foul to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. Dodgers and Braves. They've split the first 2 games. Dodgers will go to Atlanta later on in the year. 0-1 the count. Beachy comes back to Gordon, who flares one foul down the left field line. Dodgers will be in Atlanta to play August 17, 18, and 19. The home of the tomahawk chop by way of Florida State. 0-2 the count to D. Gordon. Here comes Beachy, and again a foul ball down the left field line. Getting hard stuff up and in. Gordon can't get around on it yet, but of course Beachy is throwing 94, so it's pretty tough to handle that up and in fastball at 9-4. Brandon doesn't really worry about Lilly. Freeman is holding the corner. Ted barely off the bag. And the strike 2 pitch to Gordon, very high, ball 1. The only reason you can think of that Freeman is holding Lilly is they don't expect Gordon to pull the ball. The outfield is way around the left, and in left field, Prado is as shallow as you'll ever see a left fielder play. Little ground ball to short. They will get 1, and that's it. So the force play gets Lilly off the base paths. Gordon hitting into the force, and the batter will be Mark Ellis. You know, Friday night fireworks at Dodger Stadium will pay tribute to the stadium's 50-year history throughout the season. Following the game this Friday, Fans are invited onto the field. Enjoy the show. It'll include music and video highlights from the 1960s. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Mark Ellis, line drive single to center in the first inning. Gordon, with 2 out, is a definite distraction at first base. And of course, as he does all year, Mark Ellis having to be a little bit patient up there at the plate. Gordon held on by Freeman. Beachy a look now to the plate. Ellis takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. D. Gordon has stolen 9 out of 13. The Dodgers as a team have stolen 12. The Braves have stolen 15. Michael Bourne has stolen 7 of those. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Mark Ellis is instead a throw to first, and diving back to the bag, D. Gordon. So Beachy has his hands full. Gordon a distraction, definitely a threat to go. McCann primed behind the plate. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. Beachy at the belt, turns, throws to first. Beachy heaves a little sigh. Gordon inching off the bag. Ellis, quiet bat, waiting at the plate. There goes Gordon. Pitch high. The throw is going to be on a bounce and too late. So D. Gordon has now stolen 10 out of 14 as he steals second base. 1 hopper by McCann, not in time. Nice effort by Ugla to stay with it. Gordon got on base once last night and did not steal. He was on base twice in game 1 and stole twice. So in the 3-game series, D has stolen 3 bases. Now with 2 out, Ellis trying to pick him up. 2 balls and no strikes. No score in the game. Good fastball in for a strike at 93. Ellis waiting. Gordon a pretty good lead. No score, bottom of the 3rd. Beachy at the belt. A double check of Gordon. Now to the plate and gets that inside corner. Ellis doesn't think it was a strike, but the plate umpire Alan Porter says so. And here it is, 2-2 the count. Alan Porter, young umpire, he'll be 45 in December. He's been a pro umpire since 2002. Lives in Pennsylvania. 2-2 the count to Mark Ellis. Veteran right-hand hitter batting .274. Beachy delivers and it's foul back. So Ellis in that number 2 slot, which is so important. First of all, to try and advance Gordon, and second, to keep the innings alive for Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier. Mark has had a great career coming out of South Dakota. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mark Ellis will be 35 in June. For the old timers and historians, June the 6th, that makes you think immediately of the invasion of Europe in 1944. The 2-2 pitch coming up. Brandon Beachy delivers, almost hit him, and 3-2 the count. It was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball inside. Beachy going all the way with Ellis with 2 out, fully aware of Matt Kemp in the on-deck circle. Now this is a big pitch to Mark Ellis. Beachy ready. The young right-hander looks at Gordon, now to the plate, and it's sliced to right field, but that's exactly where Jason Hayward is. Location, location, location. So no runs, 1 hit, a stolen base, and a man left. At the end of 3, no score. Honda dealers, and by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better. Internet, TV, and home phone from Time Warner Cable. Fourth inning, no score in the ball game. It'll be Martin Prado followed by Freddie Freeman and then Brian McCann. Prado, 28 years old, out of Venezuela. It's just such a cute story. He talks about his mom, who saw him play for 15 years, never missed a game. And he was kind of bored as a little kid. You can just see him playing center field, arms folded, looking up at the sky. Nobody hits the ball to center field. And all of a sudden, he heard his mom's voice, "Stop picking your nose." He was mortified. "Hey, Mom, don't holler at me. Everybody knows who you are." Strike one pitch on the way, a little high. However, from that moment on, when he went to the field, he wasn't going to pick his nose and he wasn't going to hear his mom holler at him. And here he is in the big leagues. Martin first came up back in 2006. 1-1 pitch makes it ball 2, 2-1. Because of television, his mom got a great thrill. His first year in 06, he hit his first major league home run, a 3-run home run to beat Philadelphia 4-1, and his mom was watching in Venezuela. This time he hits one and a diving catch by D. Gordon. So Martin Prado losing a base hit. Line drive speared by Gordon. Wonderful play by D. And just like that, one away. So Prado 1 for 2 instead of 2 for 2. And now Freddie Freeman coming up. Big Freddie waiting at the plate, hitting .271. And promptly strokes it into right center, and that's going to go to the wall. So Gordon's play probably saved a run as Freeman jogs into second base with a big double. So a line drive out, then a line drive double, and the batter will be Brian McCann. Boy, Freeman can swing that bat. He's a young fella at 6'5" and 220. Just came up to the Braves very briefly in 2010, and then last year hit a solid .282 with 21 home runs, 76 runs batted in. So he figures to be around a while. For Freeman, too, another note: the Dodgers should file away on him as they triple the right side for McCann. Freddie Freeman has 3 hits in the series. All 3 hits have come on the first pitch. And if you remember, we were talking about Freeman, saying he is the highest percentage of swinging at the first pitch in the league. 0-1 the count. Almost got him. 1 ball, 1 strike. One thing that has certainly driven Freddie Gonzalez and the Braves to distraction. They've gotten a lot of people in scoring position, but they are 2 for 17 with runners in scoring position. On the other side, the Dodgers are 6 for 14, almost 500. 1-1. Gordon behind the bag, so that takes a step away from Freeman. Mark Ellis out on the grass in right field, and the outfield fanned out just about straight away. McCann hitting .259. Ground ball to the deep second baseman from the grass. Ellis makes the play, and Freeman takes third. So again, and for the moment, the Braves draw a blank. They're now 2 for 18 with a runner in scoring position. And the batter is Dan Uggla. No score, 4th inning. No runs, 2 hits for each side. So Freeman down the line from third. Whenever you have a runner at third, you look to find out And for Lilly, no wild pitches, no balks. 0-1 the count. Reminds me of Tommy Lasorda telling a story the other night. Bob Welch, the wonderful right-hander for the Dodgers, was here, and we were all having dinner together. And Lasorda said, "I'll never forget, I had a beaten-up, weary bullpen, and I said to Bob Welch, 'You've got to give me a full game.' And Welch said, 'Don't worry, I'm going to give you a win.'" The pitch is low. In the second inning of the game, with a runner at second base, the umpire called a balk on Bob Welch, who promptly got kicked out of the game for arguing. Nice, huh? 1 strike, the count to Dan Uggla. Under the heading of the best laid plans of mice and men, put umpires. Curveball, and it hangs. There's a base hit and the run. So that big 12-6 curveball that has done some damage, but that time it was like an apple on a tree, and Uggla just slapped it into left field. Base hit, run batted in. The Braves are now 3 for 19, and there's that nice slow curveball. Again, because of the questionable weather tonight, a run early can get bigger and bigger as the game goes along. And here's Chipper, who flied to center in the second inning. Jones on his way to the Hall of Fame. That's a cinch. And Chipper fouls it away. When you get your name up there with Mickey Mantle and Eddie Murray, you know you've had a big career. Switch hitter home run list: Mantle 536, Murray 504, Jones 457, including one last night. 0-1 to Chipper, batting right-handed. His left knee is the one that was surgically repaired. And in order to be in the big leagues for 20 years, number one, you have to be fortunate, but you also have to play in pain. He's been on the DL 12 times over those 20 years. 0-1 to Chipper. Hard ground ball gobbled up there by Hairston. The quick way for the force, and that's that. However, Freeman doubles, Uggla singles. Might have been more except for the diving catch by D. Gordon. And at the end of 3.5, 1-0 Braves. Your Southern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus today. Visit Lexus.com. And by Sports Authority, the official sporting goods retailer of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Bottom of the fourth inning, the Braves lead the Dodgers 1-0. Dodgers will have Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, and James Loney, the heart of the lineup, against young Brandon Beachy, who has allowed 2 hits and nothing else. Braves load up the left side of the infield. Ugla directly behind second base. The outfield, the gap is in left center. 0-1 the count. Of course, Matt has such great power. Of his 9 home runs, only 1 really was pulled. Ground ball to the hole, long throw by Pasternicki in time. Boy, Tyler got rid of that ball in a hurry. Nice play.
For the Dodgers, right fielder, Andre Ethier.
Andre Ethier struck out in the first inning, as did Kemp. So Andre 0 for 1. Ethier with Loney on deck. 1-0 Atlanta. After Prado lost a base hit on a diving catch by D. Gordon, Freeman doubled and came home on a single by Dan Ugla. And that's it. And a drive hooked down the right field line. That's in play. Bouncing off the seats. Ethier steaming into second base and standing with a double. For Andre, his 6th double. So the tying run is at second base as Ethier doubles into the corner, and Loney and Hairston will now try to pick him up. 1 run, 3 hits for the Braves, no runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Loney, a fly ball to center. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. I was just thinking for the Braves, 2 young pitchers, Beachy and Minor. You have to go back a ways, all the way back to 1937. The Boston Braves had 2 rookie pitchers, and they each won 20 games. Lou Fett and Jim Turner. That is really rare. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, 4th inning, 1-0 Georgia. Pretty good pitch. Off speed. Loney buckling at the knees. Still 0-2. Always admired fellas who made contact, hit very well, and didn't strike out much. The Braves had a great player, like a DiMaggio type as far as the numbers are concerned, for 1 year. His name was Tommy Holmes. 0-2 to Loney, and down he goes. Tommy Holmes, admittedly, it was a wartime year. It was 1945. But Tommy led the National League with 28 home runs. He had 636 at bats. 636. He struck out 9 times. 9. And he hit 28 home runs. He also had a 37-game hitting streak. He was quite a player. So you see somebody like an Ugla, and then you think, yeah, but way back then. But here's Hairston, popped up in the 2nd inning. Ball 1. Jerry 0 for 1, hitting .313. Ethier, pretty good lead at second base. Pasternicki is out on the grass at short. Ugla is on the rim at second. So Ethier can take a pretty good lead. Foul back. 1 ball and 1 strike. You know how we count pitches in this day and age? He has now made 97 pitches. He's now made 108. Blah, 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 blah. The Braves had a pitcher named Red Barrett. He once pitched a complete game and made 56 pitches. 56. Ground ball to Pasternicki, and that'll be that. So the Dodgers get a double from Ethier, but they leave him, and at the end of 4, Braves 1, Dodgers 0. Then on the weekend, the Washington Nationals, led by, among others, Steven Strasburg and the skipper Davey Johnson. All 3 games with the Nationals on prime ticket, all 3 different times, 7 o'clock Friday, 6 o'clock Saturday, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Dodgers then go out on the road, game 1 in Colorado on KCAL 9 at 5:30. That road trip will have 3 in Colorado and 3 in Chicago. When the Dodgers come home, they'll open up with the Giants. Meanwhile, here's Jason Hayward. Hayward struck out in the 2nd inning. High chopper, Ellis. 1 away. Boy, they have really thrown a blanket over a fine young player, Jason Hayward.
Shortstop number 1, Tyler Pasternaky.
So 1 away. Tyler Pasternaky, who flied to left field in the 3rd inning, will be coming up. Jack Wilson played the first game, went 0 for 4. Pasternaky pinch hit and struck out. Last night, Pasternaky had 3 hits and a walk, scored the winning run. Wilson appeared and sacrificed Pasternaky to second base, so that when Prado tripled, what turned out to be the winning run, scored easily. 1 ball and no strikes. In there. Tyler Pasternaky facing Ted Lilly. And a hopper to D. Gordon. 2 out.
Pitcher number 37.
That'll bring up Brandon Beachy. 2 out, 5th inning, 1-0 Braves. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom half of the 5th, they'll have Gwynn, A.J. Ellis, and Lilly. So the game's certainly on an even keel. 1 run, 3 hits for Atlanta. No runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Fouled away. Beachy struck out in the 3rd inning. Oh, and 1. A little high with the fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ted sure gives you a lot of move out there with the bases empty. The hip, the leg curl, big turn on the rubber. Anything to try and hide the ball as long as possible. Somewhere in there, and then here it comes. However, off the plate, ball 3. 3-1 to Brandon Beachy. Beachy with the bat already has 2 walks coming into this game. That's a strike. He has 1 hit. It was a single. 3-2. And he pops it up to right field. Cruising in, Ethier. Nice easy inning. 1-2-3. So we're heading to the bottom of the 5th inning. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing. $6 burgers made with 100% Black Angus beef. And by Nissan. For great offers across our full lineup, visit ChooseNissan.com or visit your local dealer now. 1-0 in favor of the Braves. The only run after D. Gordon making a catch of a line drive off the bat of Martin Prado for an out. Freddie Freeman promptly hit the first pitch for a double to the gap in right center, and a 2-out single by Dan Uggla scored him, and that's it. 1-0 Atlanta. Bottom of the fifth, Tony Gwynn, A.J. Ellis, and then Ted Lilly. Gwynn topped one out in front of the plate. Brian McCann threw him out easily in the second inning. Corners come up. Freeman and Jones. In there. 0-1. Tony hitting .227 with a couple of ribbies. Light breeze blowing towards left field. 1 ball and 1 strike. Beachy had made 55 pitches through 4 innings. Lilly had made 52 through 4. So we've moved along nicely. 1-2. Gwynn, Ellis, and Lilly. If anybody gets aboard, D. Gordon. 1 run, 3 hits for Atlanta. No runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Sprayed foul into the stands off third base. Still 1-2. Normally the prevailing wind here at Dodger Stadium is left to right. So we're watching the flag for any indication, and it's hardly a zephyr, but what we do have is blowing right to left, which is a little different. But so far so good weather-wise. 1-2. A shot under the glove of Chipper and down the line. Prado over to get it. Tony will hold on with a single. Well, it's pretty easy to say and probably understood. At 40, Chipper's reactions are not quite as sharp as they were. He'd make that play. He'd probably make that play for 15, 17 years, but not tonight. So Gwynn, a base hit. Tying run is now aboard. Ellis and Lilly due up. A.J. struck out in the third inning. Dodgers' 4th hit, nothing to show for it yet. And a strike. Chipper unable to make that play. Reminds us he was talking about being 40. And Chipper said, I don't have to be reminded. Every morning when I get out of bed, I know I'm 40. 1-1. But remarkably, playing in the big leagues, still swinging a good bat, reasonably good reflexes, playing on that bad knee that was surgically repaired. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh, that's on the inside corner. Great pitch. Wow, 91. 1-2. A.J. backs out thinking, wait a minute, where'd that pitch come from? Greg Maddux, who of course was a remarkable pitcher, said that's the toughest pitch to make. There goes Gwynn. Breaking ball low. The throw off line. So Gwynn steals second. Gordon stole second in the third inning. So the Dodgers 2 for 2. He got a pretty good jump. McCann's throw sailed towards right center, though Uggla never had a play. So now 2-2 the count to A.J. Ellis. Nobody out. 3-2. I think he tried to make the same pitch, but a little high. Maddox said the toughest pitch for a right-hand pitcher is to throw an inside strike to a right-hand batter. And probably lined to center, base hit. They'll stop Gwynn at third. Gorn's throw is on a hop. So first and third as A.J. Ellis delivers. Tying run is now 90 feet away. And let's see what the Dodgers have in mind. Lilly and Wallach, they might very well just go for a straight sacrifice as opposed to some kind of a squeeze. In other words, Lilly might be asked just to get A.J. Ellis to second base and leave it up to Gordon. One nothing Braves, and the Dodgers have the tying run 90 feet away. Ryan McCann keeping the infield apprised. Chipper Jones on the edge of the grass at third, expecting the bunt. Freeman ready to push off first. Showing bunt is Lilly, but takes ball one. Lilly singled to left field in the third inning. Ted batting 200. 1 run, 3 hits for the Braves. No runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. Lilly showing bunt. Pulls the bat back on a strike. 1-1. Another look at Wallach. So Gwynn the tying run at third. A.J. Ellis at first. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ted showing bunt again. And got it down. The play has to go to first. So, as we figured, he was just going to try and move Ellis along. And the Dodgers now have second and third with 1 out. And Gordon and Mark Ellis coming up.
Shortstop, number 9.
Gordon has flied to left and hit into a force play. Lilly does his job, gets the bunt down. Now let's see how they play it. Chipper Jones even with the bag at third. Freeman on the grass at first. The outfield swung way around to left. Prado as shallow in left field as you will see in the big leagues against a position player other than a pitcher. So they give him all of center and right center, and for that matter a good portion of straightaway right. Now let's see if it pays off. A bunt in the air, foul over the screen, and then back on the field. No squeeze. He was just going to try and bunt for a base hit. Gordon is 0 for 2. He has a stolen base. He made a diving catch of a line drive to take a hit away from Martin Prado. Now he's trying to at least get the tying run. Meanwhile, a few drops of rain starting to come down. 0-1. And a broken bat ground ball that will score Gwynn. And with 2 out, A.J. Ellis moves over to third. So Gordon shatters the bat but picks up an important run batted in. And we have a 1-1 tie.
Second baseman, number 14.
Now Mark Ellis comes up with A.J. Ellis at third. So the firm of Ellis and Ellis trying to put the Dodgers out in front. Mark Ellis singled to center and flied to right. And looking at Beachy's work during the year. No wild pitches, no balks. So A.J. down the line from third, Mark at the plate, and a strike. 0-1. 1 run, 3 hits for the Braves. 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. So Gordon perhaps took a run away from the Braves and now drives in 1 against them. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball 2. On deck, of course, Matt Kemp. Mark, a veteran at 34, came up to the A's back in 2002. So he's been through it all. And ball 3. So a big at-bat for Mark Ellis to extend the inning with Matt Kemp waiting. 2 out. And a fly ball to left field. Very playable. Prado is there. So the Dodgers have to settle for 1. And at the end of 5, a 1-1 tie. The Giants and the Dodgers played in Ebbets Field. In those days, Ebbets Field seated about 23,000 people. I'm not sure why, but the ballpark was full and they kept selling tickets. Next thing you know, they had somewhere around 35,000 in this little park. People went out on the field and the game was forfeited in favor of the Giants. Let's get back to this one. One ball and no strikes. Michael Bourne, Martin Prado, Freddie Freeman. And fly ball to center. Kemp hesitated. Now he's there. So Bourne hitting fly balls is a waste of time. That's why normally you expect to see him hit the ball on the ground. Yeah, the rain is beginning to fall. It always seems like it's magnified on television when you're looking up into the lights, but it is raining. It's a shame to have any weather because this is a rather remarkably well pitched game. Beachy and Lilly combined 31 of 39 batters, their first pitch has been a strike. Make it 32 out of 40. Only 2 hitters have jumped on the first pitch. Freddie Freeman, who's a notorious first ball hitter, and Andre Ethier. Long fly ball to the track goes Gwynn. So Martin Prado, fly ball, 2 down in the 6th. And here comes Freddie Freeman. So as we mentioned, Freddie as much of a first ball hitter as there is in the league. One run, 3 hits for the Braves. 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. There he goes, first ball, but it's foul. 0-1 to Freddie. On deck, Brian McCann. Nice breaking ball in there. 0-2. Lilly has walked 1. That would be Ugla in the 2nd inning. Beachy has not walked anybody. Shot right back to Ted. So just like that, a 1-2-3 inning with the raindrops falling at Dodger Stadium to add to the drama, and we're locked in 1-1. To you by the all-new Chevy Cruze Eco, available to order. Chevy runs deep. And by Farmer John, taste the local flavor. Bottom of the 6th inning in a 1-1 tie. Brandon Beachy, who had to work harder than any other inning. He made 21 pitches in the 5th inning. So Brandon now working Kemp, Ethier, and Loney. Light rain falling. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning, 1-1. Kemp struck out, grounded to short. They load up the left side as usual. Michael Bourne, however, shades him a tad towards right center. 0-1. Matt batting .441. And there he is. First in batting average, first in home runs. Tied for first with his teammate Andre Ethier. RBIs. 0-2. Great off-speed pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, it's apparently raining enough to discourage some people in the open seats behind home plate. They're going to cover. Well, they talked about the rain. Here it is. Bottom of the 6th. We repeat. Well, there you go. Any mail? Two and two. Dodgers have been rained out 17 times since they've come to Los Angeles. They've gone 977 games since the last rain out. And a high fly ball into deep left center field. Come rain or come shine, home run, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. Chant MVP as Matt comes around, his 10th home run of the year, and now in the rain the Dodgers lead 2-1 in an official game. So a big hit for Matt, and the batter Andre Ethier, who was struck out and doubled. So Brandon Beachy gives one up, first home run that he's allowed this year. 0-1. So a 2-ball, 2-strike count, and Matt got a pitch up about belt high over the plate. Beachy knew as soon as he swung that it was gone. So Matt gets the club out in front. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andre Ethier. Gary Sheffield hit 10 in April, and Matt's right there with him now. 1-1. And a strike at the knees. Fastball down. When the Braves come up in the 7th, and I don't believe they would stop this game. McCann, Ugla, and Jones. Foul back. One and 2 to Andre Ethier. The rain would be a distraction, but Major League ball players have tremendous powers of concentration. Matt concentrated and hit one out. Little ground foul, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits for the Braves. If you care, Matt Kemp's home run, they said, was 437 feet. Well, he's got a shot to beat it out, and he will. Probably strike out wild pitch because the pitch was in the dirt, but we'll see. But either way, Ethier is aboard, and the batter will be James Loney. Strikeout wild pitch. That's the call. Good call. McCann tried but couldn't get him. So the Dodgers get a big break there. Five strikeouts for Brandon Beachy, but that one hurts him. And now Loney. Fly to center and struck out. James 0 for 2. Dodgers 2, Braves 1. Dodgers trying to win their 5th series of the year. They've only lost 1. That was when they were on the road, and lost 2 out of 3 to Milwaukee. Fouled away. 0-1. Loney hitting .231 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Dodgers are also trying to win, going back to last year, 15 of the last 17 series. They're also trying to win their 14th game tonight. The Washington Nationals won. They are 14-4. And a fly ball to right field. Hayward has a play. Zoloni out to right, one down, and Jerry Hairston coming up.
Third baseman number 6, Jerry Hairston.
So Matt Kemp, 10 home runs in a rather remarkable April. Now that ball he hit, that would be the second of 10 that were hit to the left of center field. The other 8, center, center, and right. Remarkable power. Hairston popped up, grounded to short. Jerry playing third base, 0 for 2. Time. Not quite sure of the sign, so they'll have to go him over. Brian McCann shuffling his cards behind the plate. Ethier barely a lead over there. Hairston fussing at the plate, so timeout. One ball and no strikes. So the veteran Jerry Hairston up against young Brandon Beachy here in the 6th inning, with the Dodgers leading 2-1. Braves picked up a run in the 4th inning. Dodgers tied it in the 5th, take the lead in the 6th. Pitch out, a little surprising. Two balls and no strikes to Hairston. Ethier barely off the bag at first. And that stayed up. Ball 3. I think we mentioned it once before as Matt looks on. Tim Lincecum picked up his 1,000th strikeout last year, and the man he got was Jerry Hairston. And ball 4. So a home run by Kemp, a strikeout and a wild pitch on Ethier, and with one out, Hairston walks. Tony Gwynn will be coming up, and Roger McDowell going out to the mound to counsel Brandon Beachy. Boy, Brian McCann was talking about Roger McDowell, and when Roger was a pitcher, he was known as a happy-go-lucky guy. You may remember they used to always show him when he was with the New York Mets in Wrigley Field, Chicago on a hot day. And Roger was out there with a hose, and he wet down everybody in the bleachers. And everybody said, oh, he's such a clown. Well, he is now quite a pitching coach. Brian McCann, in talking about Roger, McCann said he's the smartest man I've ever met in this game. And he says Roger McDowell is the big reason why some of these young pitchers are doing so well. So a great tribute to Roger. Meanwhile, Gwynn topped out in front of the plate, single to left, scored a run back in the 5th inning after stealing second base. 90-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-1 to Tony. A.J. Ellis on deck. Tony Gwynn hitting .261 with 2 on. Ethier at second, Hairston at first. 1 away. Dodgers lead 2-1. And a high fly ball playable. Bourne over. Runners go to tag. Bourne for the catch. Runners will hold. So a fly ball to center. And the batter now, A.J. Ellis.
Dodger catcher number 17, A.J. Ellis.
A.J. Ellis had a big at bat In the 5th inning, Dodgers were trailing 1-0. Gwynn singled and stole second. A.J. Ellis singled into third. And Gordon's ground ball for an out got Gwynn home to tie up the game. Then Kemp has untied it. And with 2 out and 2 on, here's A.J. 1 for 2. And a strike. Ellis hitting .289. A reminder, when the Braves come up in the 7th, Brian McCann, Dan Uggla, and Chipper Jones. Rain appears to have pretty much moved out. Check swing foul. 0-2 the count. Brandon Beachy got his pitch count now up to 97. You imagine that note I gave you before about Red Barrett? 9-inning complete game on 56 pitches. Off the plate, 1-2. Chad Durbin gets up down in the Braves bullpen. The pitch count slowly getting up there now, close to 100. There's Chad. One ball, 2 strikes. Nice block by McCann. 2-2. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits for the Braves. Braves fly home. They're off tomorrow. And then Friday they host Pittsburgh. Dodgers dig in for the Nationals. Off the plate. So with a full count and 2 down, a little base running edge for the Dodgers. Ethier going from second, Hairston from first. Ted Lilly is on deck. Three and two. Runners ready. Runners go. Big chopper wide of third. Great save by Chipper. And in the dirt, and a great pick by Freddie Freeman. Wow. A big defensive play. Beachy over to slap the hand of Chipper on the way by. But it was Matt Kemp's ball he couldn't do anything about as he hit it 437 feet into the pavilion. And at the end of 6, 2-1 Dodgers. In the year so far, Matt Kemp is the difference. Dodgers 2, Braves 1. Matt's home run in the 6th, breaking the 1-1 tie. In the 7th inning, Ted Lilly will be facing Brian McCann 0 for 2. Dan Ugla, who has walked and singled, and Chipper Jones 0 for 2. McCann flied to left, grounded to second, 0 for 2, and as usual, the Dodgers will load up the right side. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Braves. Breaking ball strike for Lilly. That is his 70th pitch, and we're in the 7th inning. Brandon Beachy has made 101 pitches through 6. Josh Lindblom begins to warm up in the Dodger bullpen. 1-1. So Lindblom in the Dodger pen. Durbin was throwing in the Braves pen. Mike Minor, who pitched last night, went 6 and made 78 pitches. Did he? No, he didn't. Darrell Cousins, 33 years in the big leagues. The only umpire still working a little bit longer, Cowboy Joe West, 34. Mattingly thought it was a swing. 2-1. And a high fly ball to deep right center. Kemp goes back on the track. It points up a well-known fact. At night at Dodger Stadium, it is a lot harder to hit the ball out of the ballpark than in the brilliant sunshine. The Braves brought that point up when Prado hit the triple last night. And of course, for Matt Kemp, it doesn't make any difference night or day. So he rips it, and that's the difference in the game. 1 away, and here's Dan Ugla. Walk, single to left, 1 for 1. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. Chopper to third, Hairston. So with 2 out in the 7th inning, here's Chipper Jones. Hit into a force play. Fly to center. Chipper certainly has faced Ted Lilly enough times. He has 3 hits in 15 at-bats against him. There's that big 12-6 curveball for a strike. Jones hitting .227 left, came into the game hitting .400 right. He has 3 home runs, but 2 hit left-handed. That's a strike. So Chipper, whose wife is going to have a huge party celebrating his 40th birthday tomorrow. Oh, and 2. 1-2. We mentioned it last night. When you talk to Chipper about his great career, he also talks about how frustrating it was. I mean, 11 times they were in the playoffs and never made it. Throughout his career, they won 1 World Series. And the most painful World Series loss, 1996. They lost to the Yankees. A big 3-run home run by catcher Jim Leyritz. 2-2. Chipper's played in every park except Kansas City. Chopper, and Hairston stays with a hard hopper to get him. Another fine play by Jerry. Jones losing a possible hit, and at the end, a 6.5, 2-1 Dodgers. Dodgers holding on to a 2-1 lead. And as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, Juan Uribe will hit for Ted Lilly. Kenley Jansen is throwing in the Dodger bullpen. Lilly, Breeze retired the last 10 in a row. So here's Uribe. 4 RBIs, hitting .261. For Beachy, this certainly figures to be his last inning. He's due to bat third when the Braves hit in the 8th. For Ted Lilly, a gem for 7 innings, and he made only 79 pitches in doing so. His control was absolutely remarkable. That got a little bit of Brian McCann, hold everything. So McCann shaken up on that foul ball. 0-1. What a beating catchers take. And it's remarkable they're in it day after day. It got him on the right shoulder. Even though the pad is there, it's like being hit by a hammer. He's all right. 0-1. Talking about Lilly and his control, 20 of 25 first pitch strikes. A lot of them that big 12-6 curve, but he had the full arsenal tonight, allowing 1 run and 3 hits. 0-2 to Uribe. He'll be followed by Gordon and then Mark Ellis. Oh, and 2. Did he? They're gonna look. No swing. Ron Kulpa umpiring at first. No rain to speak of, and we're in the bottom of the 7th. So Uribe comes off the bench. The breaking ball nails him, and down he goes. And we have 1 out here in the 7th inning. 6 strikeouts for Brandon Beachy. And now D. Gordon 0 for 3 coming up. Beachy gave up 2 singles, a stolen base, and a ground ball by Gordon for the tying run in the 5th. And then he surrendered that 437-foot home run to Matt Kemp to surrender the lead. 0-1 to Gordon. Ted Lilly, 79 pitches, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. A masterful 7 innings. He made 79 pitches, and I believe they just said 55 strikes. So he was putting the heat on the hitters all night. And for Ted, he has a chance for the first time in his career to win his first 3 starts. That's a strike. Gordon, a little annoyed, wisely walks away. And he promptly strokes it for a base hit. So Gordon is 1 for 4. Hit number 7 for the Dodgers. And of course he will now try to distract Beachy as Mark Ellis comes up. Remember, Gordon stole second in the 3rd inning, and he has stolen 10 out of 14. And let's just see now, after 109 pitches, Freddie's going to lift Beachy, and Chad Durbin down in the bullpen. So we'll be right back. pitcher, but he ran up against an even better pitcher tonight in Ted Lilly. So Brandon, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, and he surrenders the ball now to Chad Durbin. Interesting, Chad Durbin coming out of the bullpen. Chad had Tommy John surgery in 2002 and making one of his rare appearances at the ballpark tonight, Dr. Frank Jobe. And of course, for Dr. Frank Jobe, he has saved the career of literally hundreds of pitchers with the so-called Tommy John surgery. And Chad's another one who has profited by the magnificent touch of Dr. Jobe. Chad Durbin will be 35 in December out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Went to high school there and was drafted by the Royals. Chad, 6'2", 200. He's been a pro since 1996. First came up to the big leagues in 2000. He was with the Indians last year, so he's been around a while. Mark Ellis with Gordon at first and 1 out. And of course, Durbin will have to keep an eye on D immediately. Gordon has stolen 3 bases in the series. And ball 1. One ball and no strikes. Bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Dodgers. Laid off another pitch low. 2-0 the count to Mark Ellis. Fly ball to right field. Hayward is there. Jason makes the catch. Gordon holds. 2 down, and Matt Kemp coming up.
Dodger center fielder number 27, Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp with a 437-foot home run, which is the difference in the game. Kemp against Durbin is hitting 300. 3 for 10 with a home run in the past. Ball 1. Dodgers lead 2-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Durbin basically fastball and a curve, change, slider. Last year he started throwing cutters as well. Way back in his early days, he was a home run pitcher. Back in 2001, he made 29 starts and gave up 26 home runs. 2-0. 3-0. Well, the way Matt's swinging the bat, there is certainly nothing automatic that he's going to take a 3-0 pitch. And no chance. So Kemp draws the walk. Gordon goes to second. And let's see, with Ethier coming up, I think they're going to go to the bullpen again. So Durbin came in to face the right-hander and walked him. Down in the pen, Eric O'Flaherty, the tall left-hander, Christian Martinez, the right-hander, and they're going to bring in O'Flaherty, whom we saw briefly last night. Durbin goes out, and we'll be back. made with 100% Black Angus beef. And by Dodge. Visit us at Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. Dodgers trying to hold on to a 2-1 lead, and if anything, try to add to it. Eric O'Flaherty, the left-hander, will come in now and face Andre Ethier. O'Flaherty out of Walla Walla, Washington. Last year, O'Flaherty had an earned run average of 0.98. That was the lowest in Major League history of any pitcher with 75 or more appearances in a single season. He's 6'2", 195, 27 years old, and facing Andre Ethier, who has struck out, doubled to right, and struck out and reached on a wild pitch. So 2 on, Gordon and Kemp, and 2 out. Check swing, foul tipped actually. 0-1 to count. Andre Ethier came into the game hitting .259 against left-handers. 0-2. But he was also hitting .310 against right-handers. Eric O'Flaherty trying to get the 3rd out here in the 7th inning. Ground foul. O'Flaherty 1-0. An earned run average is up to 6. He's allowed 9 hits and 4 runs in 6 innings. And the opposition hitting .346 against him. So it's a little different than last year for the moment anyway. 0-2. Waved at. So Andre unable to handle left-hander O'Flaherty. Down he goes. Dodgers leave 2, and at the end of 7 still lead 2-1. Inning, the difference in the ball game. 6th inning, Matt Kemp leading off, got a pitch up and out over the plate and hit it 437 feet away, and that's the difference. One thing for the Dodgers, it's catching. We were talking about the Braves, who were 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position, and the Dodgers were 6 for 14 in the first 2 games. But tonight the Dodgers are 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. So Kemp's home run really stands up, and Kenley Jansen will try to make it do just that. Jansen will pitch to Jason Hayward, Tyler Pastornicki, and then we'll see about a hitter for O'Flaherty. And that's ball 1. Hayward struck out, grounded out, 0 for 2. He's a fine young player, but so far the Dodgers have really tied him up. Ball 2. Kenley Jansen is 2-0 with an ERA of 3. Opposition is hitting .125 against him. He is so overpowering. In 11 innings, he has struck out 19. Ground ball, Mark Ellis. And once again, Hayward draws blanks. So 1 away in the 8th inning. Be sure to bring the kids to Dodger Stadium Sunday. Dodgers and Nationals. First 15,000 kids 14 and under receive a Clayton Kershaw replica jersey. Compliments of Dreyer's Grand Ice Cream. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. So Jason Hayward grounds out. Tyler Pasternicki flied to left as Kershaw watches. Pasternicki led that big game last night, a walk and 3 hits, and scored what proved to be the winning run. 0 for 2 tonight. Eric Hinske, a veteran, comes out on deck to bat for O'Flaherty. Big Hinske, and he is big. 6'2" and about 235. Meanwhile, 0-2 the count. Hinske was the American League Rookie of the Year back in 2002. No balls, 2 strikes. Hit foul down the line, upstairs. The paid attendance tonight, 26,345. Not bad when you consider all the talk about rain. 0-2. 1-2. And a shot up the middle. So Pasternicki here in the 8th inning breaks the string. 11 Braves in a row had gone down. Lilly nailed 10 in a row. Jansen then got Hayward. But now Pasternicki comes up with a single. And here's the announcement now on big Eric Hinske. Hinske is 6'2", 235 at least. Out of Wisconsin, went to the University of Arkansas. Lives over in Scottsdale. He and Don Baylor are the only 2 major leaguers in history who have played in 3 straight World Series, each time with a different club. Hinske has been in the big leagues since 2002 with the Blue Jays. He was on the winning Red Sox team in the 07 World Series, lost with Tampa Bay in 08, and won in 09 with the Yankees. 1 ball and no strikes. Hinske had 10 home runs last year and 11 the year before. 4 years ago, he had 20 home runs with Tampa Bay. 2-1 Dodgers. Braves with the tying run. Pasternicki at first base. And a strike. 1-1. Eric's dad, a high school math teacher, and his mom, a project coordinator for a publishing company. When he went to Arkansas, when you look at him, you can understand why. They wanted him to play football. But he thought, no, I like the longevity of baseball. 1-1. Normally, the breeze is left to right. Tonight, with the mixed up weather, the breeze is right to left. One ball and 1 strike. And ball 2. 2-1. For Eric, on his back, they tell me, he has body art depicting an illustration of a Japanese warrior. His first tattoo was a cross on his left arm with the words, "In memory of George." That was a tribute to his grandfather. He's trying to tattoo a Kenley Jansen pitch. 2-2 the count, Eric. They call him Ski. Two balls, 2 strikes. Hinsky's hitting .250. So a 95-mile-an-hour fastball sends him back to the bench. 2 down in the 8th inning. Nothing fancy here, just try to hit it. Now with 2 out, Michael Bourne. Bourne is 0 for 3, hit back to the box, and 2 fly balls. He has hit safely in 11 out of 12 coming into this game. We're in the 8th. 2-1 Dodgers. On deck, Martin Prado. Pastor Nicky, the rookie, not familiar with the moves of the pitchers, so he does not have a stolen base. Now Bourne gets on, it's another story. He's stolen 7 out of 10. Ball 1. Two runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits for the Braves. And when it's all said and done, the difference, Matt Kemp's home run leading off the 6th inning. That's in there. 1-1 to Michael Bourne. On base twice last night with a walk and a double. On base twice in the first game. But a key to the Braves' troubles, he has not scored a run in the series. Check. Just did hold up. 2-1 to Michael, the boy from Houston. Born with 2 gold gloves in his trophy case at home. Little ground ball, Mark Ellis. So Jansen comes in, gives up a base hit, but nothing else. And we're heading to the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers 2, Braves 1. At 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. You can get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. All you have to do is text @BAT to 31826 or visit .com for details. Johnny Venters coming out of the bullpen, and he will pick up. So it's been Beachy, Durbin, O'Flaherty, and now Johnny Venters out of Pikeville, Kentucky, but he lives in Dunwoody, Georgia now. Went to school at Indian River Community College. Johnny, missing the H in the name Johnny. He's 1-0, been in 7 games, and hasn't given up anything. Ball 1 to James Loney. He'll be followed by Jerry Hairston and then Tony Gwynn. Loney flied to center, struck out, flied to right. Fastball strike. Venters is well put together. He's 6'3", about 195. Just turned 27. Foul ball. One of the first things you notice about Venters, let's say compare him to James Loney. Look at Loney's socks and look at Venters. Venters tucks it in. James has the relaxed style. And they asked Venters why he tucks them in like that. And he said, I started doing it in college. They didn't have pants that were long enough. Loney unhappy with that call. And he will lose the discussion with Alan Porter.
Third baseman, number 6, Jerry Hairston.
Big breaking ball. James thought it was inside. Porter says no. Well, you know, Johnny Venters, I'm not sure whether it was tongue in cheek or not in talking about tucking in the pants at the knees. That's a strike. Understand it. He's in college. They didn't have pants long enough, so he tucked them in high up. And then when he first signed and went to the rookie league, the Braves insisted that he tuck the pants in at the knees. And somebody said to him, well, did you ever pitch with the pants down? He said, I did once and I hurt my elbow. Now, that's a pretty good answer, isn't it? He hurt his elbow because the pants. Okay. 0-2 meanwhile to Jerry Hairston, who's certainly down around the ankles. And down on his third swing. So the last 3 Dodgers have struck out. Ethier against O'Flaherty in the 7th. Loney and Hairston here in the 8th. And Tony Gwynn coming up. Venters basically does the job. Fastball, slider. Got a curve and a change. And for Venters, like Chad Durbin, another tribute to Tommy John's surgery and to the talent and artistry of Dr. Frank Jobe. Yep, Johnny Venters had Tommy John surgery back in 2006. Of course, that surgery is so widespread. You hear about it now a lot of times on high school kids. In talking to Dr. Jobe, we brought up the fact that Tommy John won more games following the surgery than before the surgery, and how these fellas have come back and pitched better after the surgery. And Frank said no magic in the surgery. It's the rehab process that's improved so much that these fellas get stronger and actually come back better. 1-2 the count to Tony Gwynn. Dodgers 2 runs, 7 hits. Braves 1 run, 4 hits. When the Braves come up in the 9th, Prado, Freeman, and McCann And if anybody gets on, Ugla, and all Venters does, tucks the pants in at the knee, comes in and strikes out the side. And at the end of 8, it's 2-1 Dodgers. Through the 9th inning, 2 runs, 7 hits for the Braves, 1 run, 4 hits. Javi Guerra, who's been successful, 7 of 8 save opportunities, and in his young career, he's converted 28 out of 31. So Guerra gave up that long triple last night to lose the game. He is 1-2. Javi, an ERA of 2.8. And as far as the opposition is concerned, they're hitting only .207 against him. Another tough 1-run game for the Dodgers in 1-run decisions. They are 6-3, trying to make it 7 out of 10. For Atlanta, this is their 5th 1-run game, and they've won 3 out of 4. So Martin Prado will lead it off. 9th inning, 2-1 Dodgers. And ball 1. Guerra with 7 saves is tied for first in the major leagues. This would be his 11th relief assignment. Good fastball at 94. 1-1 to Martin. So the Denton dandy, Javi Guerra, out of Denton, Texas. He had Tommy John surgery in 2005. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Every pitcher who has undergone Tommy John surgery ought to chip in, and they ought to build a statue, a tribute to Dr. Frank Jobe at the Hall of Fame. Fly ball to right field. Ethier retreats. 1 away. So Prado 1 for 4, robbed of another hit by D. Gordon in the 4th inning. So now Freddie Freeman. Freeman, the first ball hitter, has popped up, doubled on the first pitch, and scored the run and hit back to the box. Very aggressive, fine young hitter, fine young player. The pride of Orange, California. And ball 1. And a base hit to right field. So Freddie Freeman, who is quite a fine looking young ball player, a double and a single tonight. Last night he was robbed on a great catch by Hairston in left field, and he had 2 base hits in the first game. So the tying run aboard, McCann, Ugla, and Jones trying to get it around. McCann flied to left, grounded to second, flied to center. They load up the right side as usual. And a strike. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 5 hits for Atlanta. Braves scored only 2 runs in the first game when the Dodgers won 7-2. 0-2. McCann certainly appeared to be a little confused, but pretty good reason. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. 0-2 to Bryan. And a line drive that hits Guerra, deflected to third to Gordon, but there's no play. And let's see if Guerra is all right. Whoa. He's saying yes to A.J. Ellis. Apparently he just did get the glove up. Now Don Mattingly wants to go out and make sure. Whoa, was that close. It might have gone off the glove and off the jaw. Line drive, the glove goes up, and it looked like the glove hardly touched the ball, and it got a good part. There comes the glove, and he got it right off the jaw. Well, Javi's gonna stay in and pitch. He's saying, come on, let me throw. They're talking, but I want to get in some warm-up tosses. Dodgers are not quite sure. So McCann, literally and figuratively, a bullet off Javi Guerra. One tough hombre. So 2 on, 1 out, 9th inning. Of course, you see something like that, and if you were here, you remember Kaz Ishii pitching for the Dodgers. Really took one in the noggin. Jack Wilson is now the pinch runner for McCann at first base.
Second baseman, Dan Ugla.
All right, first and second, 1 out. Dan Ugla has walked, single to left, grounded to third. 2-1 Dodgers, 9th inning. And a strike. 0-1. Guerra basically fastball, slider. He has a hard curve and a changeup. Freeman and Wilson out there on the lines. 1 out. And 2. Well, how fitting would it be to go down to the last hitter and have the last hitter be Chipper Jones? Well, Chipper's on deck. And 2 to Dan Ugla. In the dirt. Guerra has made 12 pitches, throwing hard. He got Prado on a fly ball to right, but then Freeman singled to right. McCann singled off Javi's glove and jaw. Wilson is running for McCann, and it's a 1-2 count on Dan Ugla. And a little flare into right center field. So here comes Freeman. He will score. Wilson is on his way to third, and the ball game is tied in the top of the 9th inning. So Dan Ugla didn't really take a full swing, just put the bat on the ball. So Ugla, key base hit, his second hit, and his second run batted in. Just slapped at it, hit it over the head of a leaping Mark Ellis. cashing in Freeman and sending Jack Wilson to third. So here comes Chipper Jones in what might certainly be his last at bat ever at Dodger Stadium. A Hall of Famer who will now bat left-handed. Chipper tonight fly to center, hit into a force play, grounded to third. Chipper 0 for 3. Last night was 1 for 3 with a home run and did not play in Monday's game. So first and third, 1 out. At third base is Jack Wilson. Dan Uggla is at first. And here's Chipper. Chipper has a little more power left-handed. 2 of his 3 home runs. Check swing, it'll cost him a strike. In games where Chipper celebrated his birthday, the Braves are 11-2. If you're wondering about a scoring fly ball, Chipper Jones has 95 of them. 0-2. So 3 singles with 1 out in the 9th inning to tie up the game. And a ground ball base hit. Would you know it? Of course. On his way to third is Uggla. And so Chipper Jones, in perhaps his final at bat after 20 years in the big leagues at Dodger Stadium, who hit the home run last night on his birthday, gets the base hit to put the Braves in front 3-2. For Javi Guerra, that would be the 4th consecutive base hit that he has given up. So Wilson brings in the 2nd run of the inning. Uggla is now at third. And Guerra, who took a shot on the jaw, is now pitching to Jason Hayward. Jason has struck out twice, grounded out. There's still only 1 out. Josh Lindblom is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. So a 2-run 9th. And the Braves lead 3-2. Time, no pitch. Hayward hitting .292, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. You can bet he's dying to do something positive. He's had a tough series, and in his young career, a very tough time against the Dodgers. Interesting, the count with Guerra pitching. McCann hit an 0-2 pitch. Uggla hit a 1-2 pitch. Chipper hit an 0-2 pitch. And that's going to be sliced into left field. Base hit. Well, here comes the 3rd run of the inning, brought in by Uggla. And it's now 4-2 in favor of Atlanta. So for Javi Guerra, one of those things that they go through as closers. And tonight, after getting the first batter, 5 consecutive singles, including that one to the jaw. So the Dodgers with Lindblom coming in, and we'll pause for this. ninth inning. And remember, he got his first man Prado. However, he was hit on the ninth pitch on that savage line drive off the Shaw. So what you would say, he took that terrible hit and then came back and made 9 more pitches. So by that time, he gave up 3 runs, 5 straight hits. And Josh Lindblom is asked to get the last 2 outs. Lindblom pitched 1 inning in the first game. So the Dodgers down 4-2 in the ninth inning. Pasternicki is turning out to be a nightmare inning. Juan Francisco, who plays a lot of third base for the Braves, will be coming up. So Francisco will bat for Johnny Venters. Francisco recently a contributor playing third base. He's from the Dominican. He's only 24. He'll be 25 near the end of June. He was originally signed by the Reds. Look out. So Francisco losing his bat. Shakes up everybody in the stands. 0-1 the count. Francisco will now get himself another bat. Sometimes it's a game bat that they really want and they'll make an exchange, but apparently Francisco felt one bat's as good as another. He's the third of 4 children. Growing up in the Dominican, he said he was poor but didn't lack the essentials. And then at 16 he got a sizable bonus to play for the Cincinnati Reds. Typical kid growing up in the Dominican. He idolized Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz. Right now he's got Chipper Jones, Jason Hayward, and Tyler Pasternicki out there. And a ground ball to Ellis. He'll feed to Gordon. He'll come back to Loney, and that's what they needed. However, the Braves needed something, and they got it. They scored 3 times in the ninth inning at the expense of Javi Guerra and lead 4-2. Chipper Jones at Dodger Stadium. He certainly made the most of him with that big base hit in the ninth inning to break what had been a tie. and then the Braves added yet another, and they lead 4-2, bottom of the 9th inning. Craig Kimbrell will come in and pitch. We talked about him last night, and if you were not aware of the story, it's certainly worth repeating, because what happened to him could have been a tragedy, and instead it turned his life around completely. He was helping his father install wire in a house under construction when 800 pounds of sheetrock fell on his left foot, snapping it nearly in half, breaking all the bones except for the little pinky. That's a strike. Anyway, Kimbrell was going to go to college, so he couldn't pitch on crutches. So what he did, he started playing catch on his knees, and he kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. He has 2 quick strikes on A.J. Ellis. He's only 5'11", 205-pounder, rookie of the year last year with 46 saves. He won all 32 first-place votes. Foul back, and he comes in at 97. So instead of feeling sorry for himself over the injury, as Kimbrell said, really, the smashed foot, the accident, was the best thing that ever happened to him. 0-2 the count. A.J. Ellis just off the plate. Boy, that was close. For Kimbrell, an ERA of 1.2. He has 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. And got the inside corner. What a pitch. Wow. So down goes A.J. Interesting to note, the last 5 Dodgers have struck out. In other words, Ethier went out ending the 7th. Loney, Hairston, and Gwynn all struck out against Venters in the 8th. And now Kimbrell takes care of Ellis. Adam Kennedy will now come up and bat for Lindblom. Foul back. Craig Kimbrell, with all he's been through, is only 23, facing the veteran Kennedy. Adam, that awful job of being a pinch hitter, 1 for 15. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kimbrell's out of Huntsville, Alabama. Went to Wallace State Community College in Alabama. Ground foul, 0-2. Not only does Kimbrell throw hard, but the arm slot and the way he releases the ball, it's very hard to pick it up. And before you know it, it's too late. 0-2. And down goes Adam. So that's 6 Dodgers in a row now who have struck out.
For the Dodgers, shortstop number 9, D. Jorge.
So Messrs. Ethier, Loney, Hairston, Gwynn, Ellis, and now Kennedy have all struck out. 6 in a row. That last pitch, by the way, to strike out Kennedy was 98 miles an hour. So here is Gordon, 1 for 4, and a strike. One of the things that Freddie Gonzalez talks about with Kimbrell is his dedication to studying film. Kimbrell studies whether it's been a good or bad outing and makes notes. Ground ball smothered by Chipper, and that's it. Chipper Jones gets the base hit to help win the game. Chipper Jones makes the last assist to end the game. And unless we see him in the playoffs, Dodgers will see him in August. It was certainly great knowing you. For the Braves, 4 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. For the Dodgers, 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. So the Dodgers lose the series. Only the second time. They've lost 4 of 6. The other series they lost was in Milwaukee. Well, they have tomorrow to get well, and then they'll be back here Friday night, and all games with the Nationals will be on Prime Ticket, and they should be dandies. Hope you'll be out here with us. Until then, till Friday night, we wish you all a very pleasant good evening.